Hello and welcome to another episode of Humans in 5.
We've both had the good fortune to travel a bit in the last little while. I've moved from the UK to Canada.
And I spent some time in South Africa for work.
All this time in airports, waiting areas and custom lines got us thinking about how spaces make us feel. They might be cozy and welcoming like your favourite cafe, or they might make us feel like we're unimportant and small, like a large white waiting area at a government building.
There's actually a lot of thought that goes into how we create the spaces we live and work in, as well as those that we pass through. A lot of this work is done by architects when buildings are constructed, but also by city planners when it comes to thinking about how people use public spaces, and even museum curators when they plan out the paths people take when they're visiting an exhibition.
When it comes to moving through a space, there's nothing quite like an airport. Anthropologist Mark Ouge described airports as non-places, or places that remain the same no matter where they are. Airports are designed to be moved through and not to stay in, so their construction is strategic and fairly low on personality.
In a way, that's how you may end up feeling when you move through one. You have to constantly show your identification documents, follow lots of rules, explain your trip to customs agents, and be fairly low on personality.
Airports are particularly well constructed for wayfinding. Wayfinding refers to visual suggestions for crowds of people to get to their destination without help, including signs, marked walkways, and colour-coding terminal buildings and gates.
Wayfinding happens in other places than airports. Tourists might use specially designed sets of signs to get around a city they're visiting, and university students will follow building and room numbers to move from one class to the next.
How you get around a place isn't just to get you in and out as quick as possible. Museum curators plan exhibitions around both the space and the items they're looking to display. Marit Simonson from Umeå University studied 5 different museum spaces in Rome. She found major differences in how space was used in each museum. For example, one museum contrasted fragile marble sculptures with the large industrial spaces they were presented in, whilst another broke off displays of mosaics into separate, small rooms.
The way we respond to space isn't just a question of our aesthetic tastes. Researchers from University College London recently found that there are specialized cells in our hippocampus, which is a part of the brain responsible for spatial memory, that are attuned to the geometry of the spaces we move in. It seems there are particular types of spaces that appeal to our brains compared to others.
Because our brains are looking for patterns and taking geometry and balance into account when it comes to spaces, museum exhibitions sometimes go against the balance our brains want in spaces. This happens when we feel like there are too many items in a space, or the information posters aren't easily linked with different items.
So the next time you're walking quickly through an airport, looking for your next right turn, or wandering through a public garden, have a think about how that space makes you feel, and what's involved in making you feel that way.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Humans in 5.
And don't forget to subscribe!